Informal contractions. What are they? Why should you care about them? Hi, I'm Ryan from GoNaturalEnglish.com, and today I want to talk about why you should care about informal contractions and how you can use them to help spice up your English, improve your fluency, and sound more natural. So if you're ready, let's get started. A lot of us know what contractions are. Don't, or can't, or I'm, that's. Don't is a contraction of do and not. Can't is a contraction of can, not. I'm is a contraction of I am. We learn these contractions early on in our English journey, but what we don't learn are the informal contractions. These combination of words and sounds that native speakers use very frequently in daily speech with friends, with colleagues, with teachers, with parents. You won't find these in textbooks very often, if at all. You might see them, though, written in text messages or in social media. You'll hear them in music or in movies. So that's why it's important to learn what they are and where they come from. So if you're interested in hearing them, learning how to use them and how to say them, keep watching. So number one, I'm gonna tell you what it is. And I just used it. Gonna. Gonna is a combination of going and to. Gonna is very common and speakers use it all the time. It's fluid, it rolls off the tongue. Gonna replaces going to. So if I wanted to say, I am going to eat when I wake up, I can say, I'm gonna eat when I wake up. Can also be written. You can find it in text messages between friends or informal settings. You wouldn't want to write these or any of these words in your CV or in your IELTS exam. These are all very informal and almost like slang. So be careful when you're using them and in what situations. But when you're speaking, they sound very fluid and very natural. Number 2 and 3. Number 2 and 3 are both question contractions. And we would never write them this way, but the way that they sound when you're speaking them is a vocal contraction. If I see a friend walking towards me, I might wave to him and say, hey, what are you up to? This is a very formal, very proper way of saying it. But if I'm just being natural and being fluid, I would say to him, what are you doing? What are you up to? What are you? What are? In this contraction, what are becomes whatter. Now, in order to pronounce it and sound fluid, the way to think about it is if you drop the T from what and add a D, so it's the D sound, you get wud. And now the ARE becomes an ER sound. So in the neutral North American accent, this is going to be an Now you have wud, water. What are you up to? What are you doing? If I wanted to talk about myself, if I'm sitting in my room studying for an exam and I'm blanking and I can't think of anything else, I might ask myself, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What am? So the same way, we drop the T and we add the D sound, what am? What am I doing? What am I thinking? What are we doing? What are you going to do? What am I going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to eat after school? Now, if you want to use do in a question to help form a question, what do you think? We're going to drop the T. So for what do, we're going to drop the T from what and add the D sound, would, and now we come up with wadu. Wadu. What do you want to do? What do the kids want? What do you think will happen if I study English every day? Wadu. Again, we would never write this. We would always write normally just what and do. But when we speak it, the way it sounds together, it's like a vocal contraction. Wadu. Number 4 is gotta. Can you think of what 2 words come together to build gotta? Gotta is a combination of got and to. Now, a lot of times you'll find 𝒂𝒐 written in a text, in a social media post, on Instagram or WhatsApp. 𝒂𝒐. You'll definitely hear it in movies, sometimes in music. 𝒂𝒐. I gotta eat. I'm so hungry. Or I have a big exam tomorrow. I gotta study. Number 5 and number 6 are sort of similar. They're kinda alike. So I just gave you number 5 and number 6, kinda and sorta. Now these two words are very similar, and they're both basically expressing an amount of somewhat or so-so. Do you like apples? So-so. Do you like the weather today? So-so, somewhat. But you can use sorta and kinda to replace these, and it sounds a little bit more fluid and more natural. So kinda is a contraction of kind of, and sorta is a contraction of sort of. Now, sort of and kind of are already informal. So when you use sorta and kinda, you're definitely moving up on the informal scale. But you're also moving up on the speaking natural scale. And these are spelled exactly how they sound. So kinda is K-I-N-D-A, and sorta is S-O-R-T-A. Sorta and kinda. Number 7. Number 7, I really want to tell you. So wanna is a contraction of want and to. Wanna. I want to learn English. You can sound a little bit more natural by saying, I want to learn English. Or I want to speak English fluently. If you're really hungry, you might say, I want to eat. Wanna is spelled W-A-N-N-A. Wanna. Wanna you will find in text messages, in songs, and in social media, online. As with all of the other ones that you might find in written places, don't use this on an exam or on a test. It's definitely informal. It's definitely slang-like. 8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, and 10 are like brothers and sisters. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. All informal contractions of should've, could've, would've, should have, could have, would have. These already have contractions. Should have can be should've, and that's totally normal and totally fine. But when you're speaking quickly, and native speakers often do, it'll roll off the tongue faster by saying shoulda, coulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda are used as a contraction to replace could have, should have, and would have. So should have becomes shoulda, could have becomes coulda, and would have becomes woulda. If somebody says something in hindsight about how they're talking about something that they could have done better, or that they should have done better, or would have done better. Oh man, if I studied more, I would have done better on my test. You can say to him in a very playful, jabbing way, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I want to talk about one more that's fun because it's a double informal contraction. It's a contraction of two contractions. If I say Imma, Imma is a contraction of what? I-M-M-A. Imma is a contraction of I'm gonna. So the first one that we learned today was gonna. And if I want to combine it with I can do that and form Imma. And Imma is definitely very high on the informal meter. It's the most informal one that we've learned today. But you'll hear it in music. You'll hear it in certain regions. And Imma comes from I'm gonna, which comes from I am and going to. So I am going to. These 4 words can be smushed together to form Imma. I'm gonna go to the store tomorrow. I'm gonna play basketball in a minute. I'm gonna eat food. I'm gonna eat food. I'm gonna start studying later. Imma. So now you can recognize it and you see what it comes from, that it's not just a random group of words. It's coming from, it has its own little tree, its own little heritage, if you will. Now that we know informal contractions, good luck, bring them together. Hopefully this has helped you learn and you can start to speak with a little bit more fluency and use them in a confident way. Because a lot of these, it's only going to be useful if you use them in a confident way. You got to come in full force and be confident. So if you guys have any questions about any of the informal contractions I've talked about today, or perhaps you know of more and want to ask questions about those, how to use them, when to use them, how to pronounce them, leave a comment down below and we'll talk about it. And to learn more and discover other topics, you can visit GoNaturalEnglish.com.